You know, even on a beautiful day like this, where the sun is shining and everything just feels great, the weather's great, bad days still happen, and that's just honest. So I'm gonna just come out and say it. I'm having a rough day, and I just got out of work, and it's really all starting to make sense. You know what I mean? The hustle culture is not for me. That is not in alignment with my highest self, as we'll call that. You know what I mean? I've just come to realize how much I genuinely have an enjoyment for creation, conversation, and just being able to be in my state of just genuine expression, as opposed to clocking in somewhere and working for someone else. You know what I mean? Just me personally, you know. And it's just even been like all my life, like growing up in the hood and, bouncing around from home to home, and just so many life changes and not having money and things of that nature at those times, especially being in that mentality of like, oh, you don't got it. That hustle mentality just becomes more developed because, as a kid, my entire goal was to make it to the NBA, to provide a home and a life for my mother and my family, and to do so many things that my family would never be broke again. And I thought that was going to be the way for me. But as I continuously move forward in life, it was never enough, no matter what I did, no matter how much I did on the basketball court, no matter what I did in class, no matter any of that stuff. Just hustling was never my thing, and I never really realized it until recently in my life. Even when I got my first ever job, at the grocery store, I was hustling to make moves and to get out of my girlfriend's house and to, move forward with my life. And I just put myself through a lot of work and effort to obtain money. And it was so stressful. It was so irritating at each one of those jobs. I'm grateful for all of them. I'm grateful for the people that I formed relationships with, for the customers and the people that I spoke to who didn't even work there. They will... They will forever have a place in my heart, you know what I mean, for just the energy that they brought. But just being a hustler, that's not my thing. I don't like it because it's never enough no matter what you do. At least for me, that's how it's felt for me. So it's just realizing that, and then just kind of really waking up to my honest truth of like, what is it that you really like? You know what I mean? What is it that really matters to you? And that's honestly, it's you guys. You know what I mean? It's honestly this channel, and just being able to embody my truth every single day in every which way that I'm living. And I'm not conforming for anyone. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, even today, I had a rough day at work. I just got back. I'm irritated. You know what I mean? But it's not even because of the people or the customers. It's just this whole thing, because I know it's not in alignment with my true self. You know what I mean? But I understand that it's essential that I am here, because this is the time to wake up to the real truth, which is, who are you really and what really matters? I believe that torment is not just to hurt and bring pain. I believe it's to show you something, to show you the real of what really matters and how you really feel, and not conforming for the sake of, well, I gotta eat, well, I gotta make it, well, I gotta provide for A, B, and C. Bro, that life is not for me, and it makes more sense every single day that this channel, and that talking to you guys, and just really being honest with myself and living my truth and walking in it, becomes more and more significant with each step. Because I believe that the 9 to 5 is meant to be utilized to make it, to realize this isn't the life for you, to realize that, what really is important is what's within, and you investing in yourself and embodying your truth. That's where my head's been. And that's why I know for a fact that this job that I'm at now will be the last job I ever work for anyone. I will not be working for someone ever again after this. I promise you, it's not happening. I'm down for partnerships, collaborations. I'm down, to work as a team, but there being like an employer in me, no, cut that. It ain't happening. I'm sorry. I know some people, you know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's just how I feel. You know what I mean? I'm not even gonna get upset regarding if people are like, oh, that sounds stupid. Well, that's just what you think. You know what I mean? And it's like, I've just realized how traumatic the hustle culture has had its impact on me. just because, you know, no matter how much money I've ever made in my life, you know, having to give it up or having to place it towards things that I wanted to didn't even feel like it was worth it, because now I'm like, damn, you know, like I'm not making enough, I got to go back and make more. And then it just continues and continues. But then when I come on here and I upload and I'm speaking my actual truth, I feel fulfilled. Like, you know, like I just cooked a meal, you know what I mean? Like I just took my time, applied the spices, got the temperature right, and I got the right beverage on the side, and I'm genuinely fulfilled. And it's more than enough. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel is most important in every aspect of life, is to go to create fulfillment for yourself. Cook that meal that is genuinely going to benefit you, but it's also going to be enjoyable in the process, and you can enjoy the entire plate. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's most important, instead of just rushing and going to McDonald's to just get a quick meal, and then you're still hungry after, or you're like, well, now I'm not feeling so great because I just ate something that I know wasn't right for me, and now I got to go somewhere else and figure something else out. You know what I mean? So I definitely think it's important to utilize that anger, utilize that frustration, utilize that trauma from the 9 to 5, utilize all these what we call negative emotions, all the torment, to evolve, to move forward, to grow, to realize your honest truth, and do not conform to the ways of the status quo, is where my head is at. And, you know, it's just realizing that truth every single day and just walking in it, and do not be swayed. And remember, it's all a test. So when the torment comes back and these emotions come back and these feelings come back, don't fall victim, but instead realize with your real eyes that it's a test, to put your strength on display, to realize what's really important, instead of just falling victim to the hustle culture. Yeah. Peace and love to you people. I am Josiah, and I'll be back again, okay?
I can't deal with none of these females, they all stress me out. I talk to God like every day because the blessings count. She testing me, I'm not a teacher, I just let her down. Why do the most when I'm leaving, she gon' question how. Cruising with my brother in the AM. We took a loss, she's stronger, saying amen. Know that I'ma make it, I always be praying. Touch my brother, we gon'